Merry Christmas, everybody, and welcome in to this edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report, powered by Chad Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us as we get you set with everything you need to know ahead of the Chiefs' Christmas Day matchup against the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Chiefs come in at 14-1, 2.5-point favorites. The over-under set at 43.5. It's a short week after the Chiefs beat the Texans on Saturday. The Steelers coming off a loss against the Baltimore Ravens. A very rare Wednesday matchup in the second to last week of the regular season. We'll go over our keys to victory, the injury report. I'll give you my prediction coming up at the end of today's show. Now, the clinching scenario for the Kansas City Chiefs this week goes as follows. The Chiefs can clinch home field advantage with a win or tie against Pittsburgh. That's one path to get there. The other is depending on what happens with the Buffalo Bills. If they lose or tie against the New York Jets, then the Chiefs can also clinch that way. So basically, in essence, in a nutshell here for you, you have these 2 weeks for the Chiefs to get home field advantage. They need to get a win in one of the next 2 weeks or a Bills loss in one of the next 2 weeks. And it's very important that the Chiefs take care of this now. That way they can rest their starters for Week 18 against the Pittsburgh Steelers, then have the bye week and give their guys essentially 2 weeks off before the divisional round home matchup. If you're ready for Chiefs game day, if you're excited for a Chiefs win, spam C in the comments section. I want to see no less than 300 C's if you're ready for a Chiefs victory. Get those C's in the comments section, and we'd love to hear from you guys as we get going here on today's show. Let's begin with a look at the injury report, starting with the Kansas City Chiefs, as we begin with DJ Humphries at the offensive tackle position. He is questionable with a hamstring. We've seen Joe Thuney slide over to that left tackle spot in the short term. Meanwhile, Chris Jones with the calf injury that he suffered against the Houston Texans this past week, he is questionable. His status, although things are much more optimistic after what was initially thought on Saturday. Jack Cochrane with the ankle injury, he is out. He will not play this week. Chamarri Connor with a concussion, he is questionable at the corner position. The Chiefs have been very shorthanded at the corner spot ever since Jalen Watson went down. And then Jawaan Taylor, who also got banged up in the win against the Texans. He is questionable with a knee issue. Wanya Morris stepped in, and it kind of went under the radar, the TV broadcast. You had Noah Eagle and Todd Blackledge on the call for that on NBC. They didn't even notice that Jawaan Taylor got injured and was taken out there. So we'll see what Taylor's status is going forward. Meanwhile, for Pittsburgh, their injury list includes their backup quarterback, Justin Fields, questionable with an abdominal injury. Also wideout Ben Sharonik with a hip injury. He is questionable. While linebacker Tyler Matchovich is questionable with a knee injury, and then their star young corner, Joey Porter Jr., is questionable with a knee injury. So the Steelers with 4 players total on the injury list, Kansas City with 5. So what's it going to take to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers this week? Let's start with the run game. I got to tell you, when I look at this Kansas City Chiefs team, I've said it for a long time, I'll continue to reiterate, they have a championship DNA. Say what you want about this team of how they keep games closer than they should be, but they find ways to win, and even with the question marks we've seen with the passing game this season, when the Chiefs are on, they're on. They have that ability to run the football and play great defense, and that is going to win you games in late December, in January, and in February. And what's interesting is when you look at this Chiefs run game, whether it's Pacheco or whether it's Kareem Hunt, even Steele, whoever it may be, the Chiefs, what they're doing now with this rushing attack is that they are saying to themselves, look, we don't necessarily need to have a bell cow back. We don't need to have just one guy leading the way for this Chiefs team, that it's going to be by committee, that it's going to come down to who has the hot hand that day. And Pacheco, he's been back 4 games now since coming back from injury, and basically what we're seeing is that the Chiefs are saying, all right, If it's Pacheco's day, he's going to get the majority of the carries. If Kareem Hunt, if it's his day, he's going to get the majority of the carries. And as they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. As long as the Chiefs find a way to make it work one way or the other between these two backs and have that continuity, I don't care who leads them in rushing, just as long as they run the ball successfully. That's what matters at the end of the day if you're the Kansas City Chiefs as far as that goes. So before we go any further in today's show, let's go ahead and ask you now, who do you got this week? Are you going with the Chiefs or are you going with the Pittsburgh Steelers? I'll give you my prediction coming up at the end of today's show. Weigh in. Let us know what you think. Type KC for Chiefs. Type PIT for Pittsburgh. Weigh in and let us know in the comments section below. We will be live right here on Christmas Day. Folks, I am not going home for Christmas. Sad, I know, right? Instead, I'm here with the Kingdom, as we'll be doing a live watch party here on the channel coming up on Wednesday afternoon for Chiefs and Steelers. Our coverage begins bright and early, 11 a.m. Central Time. Kickoff at high noon, 12 noon local time, right here on the channel. I'll be here. Big Tex will be here, and hopefully you will be here. Make sure and join us. Chiefs and Steelers, a live watch party right here on the Chiefs Report. Subscribe now for free. Turn on notifications. Don't miss out. We will see you then. Number 2 on our keys to victory, Hollywood Brown, the receiver from the University of Oklahoma, who started his career with the Baltimore Ravens, went on the Arizona Cardinals, and joined the Kansas City Chiefs this offseason. We saw him for the first time last week against the Houston Texans after suffering that injury in the preseason. And I got to say, credit where credit's due for Andy and Patrick and company for getting Marquise Brown involved immediately in this offense. There was no learning curve of sorts. Hollywood was ready to go right from the jump. Last week, 8 total targets with 5 catches for 45 yards and 9 yards of reception. He had looked like a guy that had been there all season, was a natural fit in this offense. And when I look at what Marquise Brown has done throughout his career, he's been known to be a deep threat. And when he was initially signed, the thought was that he would be able to bring back the ability of what Tyreek Hill used to do for this Chiefs passing attack, of really being able to stretch the field. But one thing we saw last week from Marquise Brown was he looked kind of similar to what we've seen out of Rashee Rice, where he was more of a possession receiver. They used him to get those easy first downs. And Hollywood talked about this offseason that he felt like he was a do-everything type of guy, that he brought more to the table than just the vertical passing threat. And based on what we saw last week, he wasn't wrong. So I want to see more of Hollywood. I don't care if it's in the vertical passing game or if it's in the possession game, whatever it may be. Just continue to find ways to work him into this offense and be a difference maker, and I think he can certainly be that. Number 3 on our keys to victory, pressure on Russell Wilson, the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback. One thing that we've seen from this Chiefs defense in the last few weeks, they have done a really good job with their pass rush, significantly improved from what it was at the beginning of the season. I think a lot of it has to do with Karlaftis has come along, Charles Omenihu back in the lineup. They've had 10 total sacks in the last 3 games. And you think about this team was in the bottom half of the league in sack percentage for the majority of the season. And you look at Pittsburgh, and they have not done a great job themselves at protecting the quarterback. They've allowed 7 total sacks in the last 3 games, and that's really kind of held their defense, their offense back from reaching its full potential with not giving Russ a clean pocket to work with on that front. One guy that I would keep an eye on, I kind of mentioned him a moment ago, is George Karlaftis. And Karlaftis, we saw last year about this time, he really elevated his game, and he was a difference maker for Kansas City in the postseason. I'm looking at George Karlaftis to kind of continue what he started the last few weeks, and especially with not knowing Chris Jones' status at this point in time, they're going to need Karlaftis to really step up and get the job done. I think he'll be named to watch for the Kansas City Chiefs this week and trying to apply pressure to Russell Wilson there. Who will be the Chiefs MVP against the Pittsburgh Steelers? If you had to put one name on it, Who would it be and why? Weigh in the comment section and let us know who that one player is. It is the holiday season, and what better gift is there than the gift of winning free money from PrizePicks, folks? PrizePicks right now is giving you the opportunity to win 1,000 times your money. Yes, you heard that right. Play along with us, folks. Here's all you got to do. Pick 2 or more players in any given category. Get the choice of more or less, whether you're talking fantasy points in football, rebounds in basketball, goals in hockey. Go to PrizePicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS. Football, a big deal this time of year on PrizePicks. We got the college playoffs going on, the NFL regular season wrapping up here. And all you have to do, go to PrizePicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS, get $50 to play for free when you play $5. You don't even have to win to get the money. This week on PrizePicks, I'm going with Patrick Mahomes to have more than 251.5 passing yards. Also going with Russell Wilson to have less than 12.5 rushing yards. You can play along with me at PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Promo code CLNS. PrizePicks, proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. PrizePicks, run your game. Check out PrizePicks. You'll be glad you did. All right, next on our list, on our keys to victory for the Kansas City Chiefs, let's go to Santa Mahomes. He is jolly. He's got a little beer belly on him. He doesn't quite look like Santa, but you get the idea. Santa Mahomes, the gift that keeps on giving. Man, I am so grateful that he is the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs. And I got to tell you, there is not coal in the stocking of Santa Mahomes these days with the way he's stepped up in his level of play over the last couple of months. He's gone 7 of his last 8 games without committing a turnover. He did have 2 interceptions against Buffalo, but he has elevated his play. He's doing a much better job of taking care of the football. I want to see Santa Mahomes continue to deliver all the presents to this receiving corps, to continue getting these running backs involved in the passing game. We want toys for all the little girls and boys from Santa Mahomes. Do what you can on Tuesday night. Make sure to leave him some milk and cookies because Santa Mahomes is going to leave you satisfied this holiday season. I want Mahomes to have a big game. And one point I'll bring up, too, when it comes to Santa Mahomes is that you think about that ankle injury a couple of weeks ago. What we saw last Saturday, unless you had told me he was hurt, you would not have known it otherwise. He did a really good job of playing through that. So I want to see Santa Mahomes on this big stage continue to deliver in this type of environment, to continue to show what he's made of at playing at a high level. We know he loves to step up in these big games, that he embraces this opportunity, this challenge, and I think he'll do so with the first ever NFL game on Netflix. Last on our keys to victory, do not sleep, folks, on Noah Gray. Much has been made, of course, about Travis Kelce, but sometimes I feel like we forget about how good Noah Gray has been. He has had a very big breakout season for the Kansas City Chiefs, but there's a reason. One of the reasons why he kind of gets forgotten about is there's times that he just fades. We look at one week where he has 2 touchdowns, and the next week, like last week, he has only 1 target the entire game. If I'm the Kansas City Chiefs and I'm trying to pick apart this Pittsburgh Steelers defense, I'm looking to attack the middle of the field and using Kelce and using Noah Gray both. When Noah Gray is on, and he's a difference maker, especially when we talk about the red zone issues that the Kansas City Chiefs have had here in 2024. Well, here's an idea, just a thought on this. With these red zone problems, why not use your tight ends more? Not just Kelce, but use Noah Gray. And Kelce can kind of be a decoy for Noah Gray as well. Noah Gray, when given the chance, he does a good job of getting in the end zone. I'd like to see the Chiefs continue to get Noah Gray more involved and see him step up and have a big day for the Kansas City Chiefs. We told you earlier about the clinching scenario for the Chiefs. Do you believe that they will clinch home field advantage this week? If you do, type Y for yes. If not, type in for no. Weigh in the comment section. Tell us what you think. To recap our keys to a Chiefs victory, run the football. You got a good backfield, use it. More Hollywood Brown. Let's see his role continue to expand. Got to get pressure on Russell Wilson. I'm looking at you, George Karlaftis. Santa Mahomes, the gift that keeps on giving. Let's get everybody involved. Let's take care of the football, have a big day, and don't sleep on Noah Gray. If the Chiefs do all those things, I don't see any reason why the Chiefs shouldn't win this football game. I have another touchdown plus win for the Kansas City Chiefs this week. I'll go Kansas City 27-20. They move ahead to 15-1. They lock up home field advantage and the number 1 seed in the AFC. And then we don't see this team play again until mid-January, these starters anyway. And you're feeling really good about where this team is at. If you're ready for a Chiefs win, I need you to spam W in that comments section. Let's get all the W's going. Let's let it be heard loud and clear that this is going to be another great week for Chiefs football. It's going to be a very Merry Christmas to all, and all a good night and a Chiefs win. We will see you on Wednesday for Chiefs and Steelers right here on the Chiefs Report.